Good evening. As people are filtering in, I think we'll go through the notice of supplemental authority that Chile con carne DeCastro decided to file. This is purely a fuck you, judge. You were wrong and I was right, but he wasn't right because he doesn't understand what the hell is going on. Plaintiff hereby notifies this court and all parties that since this motion, which motion? We don't know, was filed, that additional authorities have been established from which to cite and support this motion. Pursuant to Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 32.1 and the established tradition of allowing supplemental authorities by this court, let's see here. Share this tab instead. 32.1. What the hell? 32.1. He said 32.1. FRCP 32.1. Okay, that's depositions. 32. I don't see a 32.1. So that's a problem, isn't it? That's a problem. That's a problem when you're citing Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 32.1 and it doesn't exist. And the established tradition of allowing supplemental authorities by this court, I do offer as follows. So he hasn't identified what motion. He cites a Federal Rule of Civil Procedure that doesn't exist. And he cites the established tradition of allowing supplemental authorities by the court. I, for one, am convinced. Points and authorities. A, late filings are allowed nunc pro tunc due to mistake without requesting leave, regardless of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure and SCOTUS decisions. Now, I don't know what the drinking word, but I'm sure, I don't know what it is, but I'm sure it's nunc pro tunc. So everybody drink. So Chile filed motions to allow him to file things nunc pro tunc. And Kate has never filed a motion to allow her to file something nunc pro tunc. So there you go. The court never allowed anybody to file something nunc pro tunc without a motion, without granting leave. The court did allow Kate to file a motion late. There's a difference. See the order from February 3rd, 2023 in DeCastro versus Abrams. That completely doesn't apply is inapposite, is the word that we're looking for. Inapposite. Where the judge has ordered that contrary to the U.S. Supreme Court decisions and the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, declaring that the court maintains no discretion, that a circuit judge, that a district court judge does indeed have the discretion to allow late filed motion practice, even when leave was not motioned prior. So Chile never asked leave to file a motion nunc pro tunc. He asked for leave to file his notice of voluntary dismissal, nunc pro tunc. This order further provides that the excusable neglect test is provided simply by naming it. I perhaps misled Chile somewhat on the excusable neglect. A court of appeals will find that the judge established excusable neglect. She just didn't state it. At least that's my prediction. I include a copy of the unpublished order by reference to ECF number 112 in this case. So there's that. All right. Now here's what you're all here for. This is the motion for reconsideration of plaintiff's motion to strike. This is what I suggested that Chile should do. And I suggested that he should hammer Lujan, especially Footnote 5. Now, for those of you who are worried that I'm giving Chili advice, help, aid, he doesn't listen. He doesn't do it right. So I don't know what you're worried about. And I also give Kate advice, help, whatever, aid, or at least I attempt to, and she doesn't listen to me either. So I don't know what power any of you think that I have over any of these various pleadings. I don't. Chili's gonna fuck this up no matter what I do. This is like the 7th or 8th motion for reconsideration he's filed. So this isn't something new to him. It's something he's going to do with or without me. I just gave him the idea. Oh, I hope I gave him a reasonable idea of what his tact should be, what tactic he should choose. Motion for reconsideration of plaintiff's motion to strike. Plaintiff hereby moves this honorable court to reconsider its denial of. See, if it's plaintiff or I, stick with plaintiff or I, you buffoon. Plaintiff hereby moves this honorable court to reconsider its denial of plaintiff's emergency motion to strike defendant Catherine Peters' late opposition to plaintiff's second motion for contempt. Motion at ECF number 110. In support of this motion, plaintiff submits a memorandum of law which is fully incorporated herein. One thing that I would suggest doing is never do anything fast. You have time to file these things. You have time to research them, prepare them, write them. This isn't a speed test. You don't have to get this in like today. Write it, read it, make sure it makes sense. Submit it to someone else. Give it to someone else to review and ask them if they think it works. Not me. Don't give it to me. I'm not volunteering, but give it to someone else. See if when they're reading it, they're seeing things like defendant. It feels like I'm congested when I'm saying it. On January 16th, 2023, plaintiff filed plaintiff's second motion for contempt in ECF number 103, asking for the court to bring judicial notice to this court of additional contempt by Peter. He was actually asking for the court, he doesn't know it, he was asking for the court to issue an order to show cause as to why Peter didn't commit contempt. The motion was immediately served by the ECF system to Peter. Pursuant to local rules 7.1b2, Peter's opposition was due by January 30th, 2023, within 14 days after the motion is served. However, Peter filed her opposition to plaintiff's second motion for contempt at ECF number 109 on February 1, 2023, multiple days late. Well, you can count them. It's 2. It's 2 days. 2 is multiple, but 2 is also much more accurate than multiple because it is a specific number of days. She didn't file on January 31st. That would be 1 day late. She filed it on February 1st. That's 2 days late. Math is hard. On February 2nd, 2023, plaintiff filed an emergency motion to strike defendant Catherine Peters' late opposition to plaintiff's second motion for contempt at ECF number 111. It was 110 here. It was 111 here. Which is it, boys and girls? Shit, you weren't seeing what I was reading. God damn it. You guys couldn't even tell me that. Let's see which it is. Let's see. Catherine versus Abrams. I'm sure I'm going to go back and there's like a billion things you're not sharing the right screen. And what was it? 110 or 111? It was 110. All right. And we're on this one now. Oh, yeah. This one, it was, but 110 is the emergency motion to strike. 111 is the opposition. So plaintiff did not file 111, but that's fine. Moving this court to 1, strike the opposition under Rule 6b because the court did not have discretion to allow a late filing absent a motion to file late. And 2, strike the opposition under Rule 6b because the court did not have discretion to allow a late filing or late filling absent excusable neglect. either like you can't like I don't know why we're going to excusable neglect. If the court doesn't have discretion to allow the filing, the court doesn't have discretion to allow the filing, excusable neglect or otherwise. Plaintiff cited Lujan. Did plaintiff cite Lujan? Well, there's a question for you. I don't remember plaintiff citing Lujan. Okay, there you go. He did. In conformance with the plain language of Rule 6B1B, a court can grant a retroactive extension of time only upon a motion. Yeah. See, this is what he should hammer, because it actually laid out, footnote 5 said it has to be like specifically, it has to look like a motion, smell like a motion, walk like a motion, talk like a motion. It has to be a motion. It has to be filed as a motion. It has to be a motion. So is that the only time he mentioned it? Yep, there it is. That was it. So now let's see what we got going on here. Oh, by the way, defendant, which is hilarious, was here, and it was here. So 2 spots for defendant. Plaintiff cited Pioneer Investment Services versus Brunswick Associates Limited, which is binding on this court for the lack of excusable neglect. Well, is it though? This court then made a correctable error by not striking the late filing. This court did not have discretion to allow a late filing absent a motion for leave to file pursuant to Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 6B. Now, this is where you hammer Lujan at note 5. Everything is Lujan at note 5. The court said this is not allowable because of Lujan. The court said this is not allowable because of Lujan, and cite the specific language in Lujan that doesn't make it allowable, or cite other court cases that also hammer on Rule 6B 1B. Argument. Rule 6B sets out, this is the exact same argument you already had. Repeating the same argument isn't going to work. This provision not only specifically confers the discretion relevant to the present issue, but it also provides the mechanism. And then we have, so this is just copy pasted. This is copy pasted out of, like, I would guess it's copy pasted out of LexisNexis, because Mark Abrams said that he gave Chili's team Lexis, and so they didn't bother to clean it up or anything like that. This provision not only specifically confers the discretion relevant to the present issue, but it also provides a mechanism by which that discretion is to be invoked and exercised. First, any extension of the time limitation must be for cause shown. Second, I think this, no, he did not cite this language. Well, did he? No. Okay. I must have just read Lujan so many times, it's ringing so many bells. Second, although extensions before expiration of the time period must be, or may be made, maybe with or without motion or notice, any post-deadline extensions must be upon motion made and is permissible only where the failure to meet the deadline was the result of excusable neglect. Thus, in order to receive the affidavits here, the district court would have had to regard the very filing of the late document as the motion made to file it. And then 5, see, there's a footnote 5. This is what he should have been hammering on. It would have had to interpret cause shown to mean merely cause, since respondent made no showing of cause at all. And finally, it would have had to find as a substantive matter that there was indeed cause for late filing, and that the failure to file on time was a result of excusable neglect. So he did not hammer on footnote 5, which I thought he should have, but we'll see how far we get. Maybe the court will do his work for him, although he just went ahead and piss the court off with this. So, I mean, shit on the court with this hand and then ask the court to do your work for you with this hand. I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Additionally, this court has mistakenly identified forgetting as excusable error, but not applying the excusable neglect rubric correctly. Now, I have a sneaking suspicion that this language right here might tell us who's helping Chile with the filing of his various motions. Because if you look in here, excusable neglect rubric was brought up by the court. This was in a denial of an appeal, but isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Pioneer makes it clear that not stating a reason at all is not excusable. More than a good faith mistake is required, but waiting until the last day to file each motion response is also not in good faith, but rather an offensive strategy employed consistently by Peter. Filing on the last day is an offensive strategy, sure. It's maybe not offensive in that term, but it's a strategy to take as much time as you can. But it is, you can't say it's in bad faith. You can't say it's wrong because they filed before the deadline. So I don't know why he's making this argument. Additionally, something would have had to happen that is not within the council's reasonable control. The calendar is within the council's reasonable control. So now we're going to look to see what he cites to say that it has to be within the council's reasonable control. So you're looking for something in this citation block here that says that excusable neglect doesn't work if it's not within the council's reasonable control. There is, of course, this is a quotation, there is, of course, a range of possible explanations for a party's failure to comply with a court-ordered filing deadline. At the end of the spectrum, at one end of the spectrum, a party may be prevented from complying by forces beyond its control, such as by an act of God or unforeseeable human intervention. At the other, a party simply may choose to flout a deadline. In between lie cases where a party may choose to miss a deadline, although for a very good reason, such as to render first aid to an accident victim discovered on the way to the courthouse, as well as cases where a party misses a deadline through inadvertence, miscalculation, or negligence. Petitioner contends that the bankruptcy court was correct when it first interpreted Rule 9006B1. To require a showing that the movement's failure to comply with the court's deadline was caused by circumstances beyond its reasonable control. Petitioner suggests that the exacting enforcement of filing deadlines is essential to the bankruptcy code's goals of certainty and finality in resolving disputed claims. Under petitioner's view, any showing of fault on the part of the late filer would defeat a claim of excusable neglect. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about Pioneer Investment Services versus Brunswick Associates Limited Partnership. This is talking about the Federal Rules of Bankruptcy Procedure. The Federal Rules of Bankruptcy Procedure are these. These are not the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Somebody asked me the other day what excusable neglect was. And I said, well, that's difficult to answer because there are lots of different variations of what excusable neglect is. There's different jurisdictional variations, and indeed, there's differences between the excusable neglect as defined in bankruptcy law versus the excusable neglect found in the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure versus the excusable neglect that's found in, say, for example, California's Rule or Code of Civil Procedure 473B. There are differences. So Rule 9006 is similar to, but not the same as, Rule 6. It is similar to, but not the same as. You'll notice the enlargement, Rule B, looks a little bit different. It's been treated by case law a little bit different. Different issues are at play in a bankruptcy than are at play in a general civil case. So what that means is that you should not have cited Pioneer Investment Services versus Brunswick. You should have cited something else. You should have cited a different case that is more closely related to the normal rules of civil procedure. This is the footnote section of Pioneer Investment Services versus Brunswick. And these cases right here are dealing with the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, Rule 6B. It is not surprising then that in applying Rule 6B, the courts of appeals have generally recognized excusable neglect may extend to inadvertent delays. Although inadvertence, blah, blah, blah. It is clear that excusable neglect under Rule 6B is somewhat elastic concept and not strictly limited to omissions caused by circumstances beyond the control of the movement. So it is not strictly limited to omissions caused by circumstances beyond the control of the movement. So what the court here is saying in Pioneer is that under a 6B analysis, the omissions or the failure doesn't have to be, strictly speaking, beyond the control of the movement. It could be something that was in their control and they just effed up. You're bad at this, Chili. You're so bad at this. Although the trial judge has discretion to determine whether something is excusable neglect, it requires the rubric to be applied correctly, and Pioneer does not allow just any mistake. Well, two things. Nothing in here talked about being beyond reasonable control, and it said specifically that sometimes things will be in the control. So for the foregoing for the foregoing reasons, plaintiff moves this court to strike Peters' opposition to plaintiff's second motion for contempt. So this he just didn't change from the original motion. It should be plaintiff moves this court to reconsider her order denying plaintiff's motion to strike. All right. And with that said, we're going to go through the humiliation ritual that is me reading these terrible comments by terrible people. Good evening, DM Andy. Good evening, Michelle. Good evening, sharp shooters on power scooters. Yes, I am lame. Good evening, Salty Explorer. You're here for some serious Merb snark and maybe a no pants stream. I never wear pants, so it's always a no pants stream if there is a stream. Salty Explorer, what's up, my good man? Hello, I am late. I don't think you're too late. You're like 2 minutes late. He is a busy little beaver, isn't he? Well, normally I would say you are what you eat, but with Chili, I doubt that. Michelle says he just gets right in. No warm up at all. I'm like that with the ladies too. What's up, Murby? Can you talk faster? It's past my bedtime. We'll watch it tomorrow on 2 times speed. That's what she said, Michelle. Literally, that is what she said. And then Michelle laughs. Hey, Merb, you need to wait just a little bit to allow everybody to get in here before you start, please. No, I have a bedtime. Dinatella's spirit fish is surströmming. Okay. I don't drink. Well, your life is a terrible waste of time. Well, cheers, Merb. Cheers to you. Here, well, thank you. We weren't doing roll call. This, believe it or not, is not a Chili DeCastro stream. I have a very large adult beverage for this. Good on you, mate. Merb is my hero. You have terrible taste in heroes. Is there even medication available that could fix Chili? I think normally they fix males by removing the testicles. There might be some chemical castration available that would fix him. And to think this man brags about using artificial intelligence to give other people legal advice, even though he claims it is not legal advice using the nope defense. Yeah, I mean, this is like, it's fucking insulting to attorneys and to the court, the bullshit that he makes and turns in. It's fucking terrible. Greetings. There is no cure for stupid. Well, there is a cure for stupid. And it comes after paying taxes. Chili said that he wanted me to pull out Nunk Pro Tunk, but that clearly didn't happen. So you came in him? Is that what you're saying? What is everybody complaining about? Chili is always right, and when he isn't, it's because people are unfair to him. Absolutely. Chili is following your legal advice. Time to charge him for it. No, he's not. He doesn't understand my legal advice. He follows this weird amalgamation of my advice and other people's advice. It turns out to be shit. It's not like a cake recipe where, some call for like 4 tablespoons of, I don't know, vanilla, and some call for 3.5, and you like split the difference. It's not like that. You gotta too many cooks spoil the soup or something like that. That's all I'm saying. The humor level of this whole suit is going to ramp up because he's about to add yet another person to it. I don't think Felipe is going to add a lot of fun to it unless you want to see someone 12B6 and nope the fuck out of there real fast. Oh, your hot pockets are done? All right, don't burn your mouth. But he's so bad with hammers. I know. If this was his version of hammering at home, he did not. He did not. I don't think Merb likes Kate. That interview was shady. I adore Kate. She is awesome. She and I are going to run away together to the Bahamas, and we're going to make little hook-nosed babies. I've got the power. I've got the power. Your mistake is thinking Chili is sane. I never thought he was sane, so don't accuse me of that. Neither side of this listens to Merb. Both have gotten spanked by the judge. Absolutely. Cannot see the doc you're reading. I knew that would be there. Yeah, I know, right? I also get the feeling Merb hates Kate. You guys misunderstand me. I adore Kate. Share the doc on the screen, please. Got it. Lowell Murby loves all his kiddos equally. Kate and Chili are both trying so hard. Show us 114, please. I only have 4.5. I can't show you 114. Trust me, if I could, I would. What did you miss? Nothing. Dr. Law hard at work again? Is that a dick joke? Merb is a dirty ass lawyer. Of course he doesn't like anybody. Absolutely. Merb is being a good human by trying to help a man with special needs. I don't help anybody for free. Merb was asking hurtful questions when he interviewed Kate, but was kissing Turtle Boy's butt. Yeah. Hurtful. Chili doesn't have any friends to proofread his work. Probably true. Can't see 114. Merb, please scroll a page. I think Chili is having a sexual affair with ChatGPT. His motions have improved. No, they have not. No, they have not. Did Merb forget to scroll down for us? Yes. A very short motion. It's not the size of the motion. It's the girth. What's the worst typo? Chili's defendant or Kate's she opinions? Kate had some zingers in there too. I mean, that was a rough one. That was a rough one. Where is the document, Captain Pantless? It's on the screen at some point in time. Most people will tell you, don't quit your day job. If I were you, you might be able to, if Jose goes to Massachusetts, you'll be all set for 20 years doing case talk on DeCastro versus everyone. Because I make so much money doing these. Merb, you're sharing the wrong document. You're right, Merb was easy on Turtle Boy. Where's 114? Can't see it. He forgot to share the screen. Pay attention, Merb. Scroll. He's sharing the wrong docs. Merb, you're not scrolling. We can't see what you're reading. I hope you folks are pleased with yourself. I hope you're all pleased with yourself. You did this to yourselves. Merb, you terrible presenter. Fix yo shit. Scroll, Merb. Jose is right. The defendant one is repeated over and over again. Bothered me the most. Question? Defendant 100. Too much alcohol. Not enough alcohol. We were lol. We can't see anything. 113. 112. I once saw Merb do this in court. The judge had to show him how a computer mouse works. It's true. You don't need to see it. Just listen to his mellifluous voice. Chili is such a narcissist. Spell check couldn't tell him he was wrong. Defendant FFS. Gotta love this court filings. Lol. I think it was defendant. Still stupid, but it was defendant. Okay? It was a nant. No, Turtle Boy hates Merb, I think. A late filing? Or a late filling? A late filling? Lol. No, cite Lujan. Facts over fuckery. That's Emily D. Baker saying, lol. Never did. Is this Chili chasing his tail again? Yes. Wait, I'm confused about the excusable neglect part. Did the judge screw up in her ruling? Not enough that he's going to win on the excusable neglect argument. I'm so glad I've hired Merb to defend me in the past. I could never navigate this shit on my own. Yeah, I told you he did. In bed with a cup of din. Merb. Good times. With a cup of din. Okay. And now Chili has an avenue for appeal. He had an avenue for appeal. The motion for reconsideration just gives the court an opportunity to avoid it for less cost. Look exactly like a motion. It is a motion. Yes. Chili is too stupid to be alive. Technically, no, because he is alive. Only time. Duh, indeed. It is good tactics to tell the court they made an error, even if it's an obvious error. Wouldn't it be better to suggest it and let the court correct themselves? No. You tell the court plainly and clearly, but not condescendingly or impolitely, that the court made an error. And you explain in detail, with excruciating detail, exactly how and why. You spell it out to the court like they're a 5-year-old, but don't talk to them condescendingly. You go point by point by point by point by point. The great Lujan hammer. That sounds racist, and I don't know why. Did Fluffer Boy write this filing laying down on his mattress in the back of his car? I don't know. That AI is amazing. Told you, he repeated defendant. Barely. This motion was literally written by an AI. You don't know that. Chili is a cum stain. In bed with a cup of tea and Merb. Good times. Well, if I'm in bed with you, you better get to work. Work it, girl. Chili gives Merb content daily. Not daily. No, Andy, it's always best judgment to exclaim, you're all total idiots if you don't agree with me, just like Merb did in my case. God, I hate to say this, but doesn't Chili have a point? If the judge wouldn't grant Chili a motion to dismiss because he was late, how can she allow Kate to do it? So Chili didn't file a motion to dismiss. So I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, Greg Money. Whatever drinking game you were playing, you must have won it, sir. Yes, Grasshopper. The master must guide the student. Lie, Daniel's son. I would like to see Burb do a video suggesting Chili file something really ridiculous just to see if he does it. No, why would I do that? All pants, no shirt. Well, you're my nemesis then, because I am all shirt, no pants. Maybe Fluffer Boy can blame his cousin for writing this up. Or Stout. Even the IRS gives people leeway for filing late. The IRS isn't the court. My understanding was that because Wish admitted the fault was on his end, that gives him excuse due to good faith. That doesn't make sense, but okay. Merb's confused look is adorable. I'm adorable. Argument. Chili is stupid enough to have an argument with himself and lose said argument. No, because that would imply he won it too. Merb is helping Chili every day, but all Chili does is make fun of him. And? Chili is such a Dunning-Kruger imbecile. Yes. Whereas Chili's insistence without evidence that the court made the filing error is without good faith. Okay. I will amend my contract with Merb for representing me by upping his fee 110% if he does so shirtless. I don't care about pants. Well, 110% of 0 is 0. Pants not required. Pants not allowed. Ouch, these Hot Pockets are pretty hot out of the microwave. I told you not to burn yourself. But Grasshopper, I didn't specify who was a master and whom was a student. Chili's teaching Merb the ways of stupid. Chili's a piece of trash. Stout. I knew it. Does that change font size halfway through a word? I don't know. Trifold to the rescue. Chat GPY is writing them for him. Well, you guys, it's weird. Everybody's like, Chili's a liar. And then Chili says something and they're like, that's the truth. Like, why do you believe him when he says Chat GPT is writing it for him? Stout's writing it for him. When I need legal advice in the event Chili is busy, Stout is my go-to. Stout, and Stout, pro se litigants. Thank you, birds. Screw you, YouTube notifications. I was pounding on Chili, didn't finish in time, and he asked me to file for excusable neglect of his ass. Well, you know what? It's only polite to make sure that both sides finish, sir and or madam. Taking bets on whether Chili wrote the new trifold with Chat GPT too. Sure thing, Pants. Burp. Sorry, been drinking too much Pepsi. Thank you. What about Chili filing weeks late in the Ironton case? He filed a motion asking for leave. Constitutional scholar? Chili got 3 Ironton cops fired. Show some respect. He didn't get shit done. Like post hoc ergo propter hoc. 3 cops got fired, and so it's because of Chili? No. Chili makes his arguments because he's a whiny little bitch. What'd I miss? Have we already talked about Merb's pants? Ironic that you're named Pants and you were talking about my pants. I'm a Fed Ned. Me too. Ew, I can smell that from over here. Ooh. Hi, folks. Several times Pants, but we can do it more. We can always do it more. Inadvertence, my favorite excuse when Merb doesn't show up for my court date. Chili proved that the taxpayer really can fire cops, huh? Other auditors must be so proud. Lol, funny, Adam. Couldn't the judge strike Kate's opposition and deny Chili's contempt complaint? Yes. Yes, but I'd rather not talk about him jerking off in bathrooms, okay? My favorite California lawyer. Well, how many do you have? How many non-California lawyers do you have? Pants or no pants? Yes. Inexcusable neglect is the story of my life. Thankfully, Merb has gotten me off. No pants, never pants. No pants. That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer blatant frontal nudity or from the rear, that's fine too. FFN. Chili's excusable neglect is sorry I was plugging my boyfriend, lol. Is there some statement in here where Fluffer Boy says you must rule in my favor because I am clearly stupid? I didn't see that. When I was a kid in the 80s, I always wondered why chicks in soft porn could have full frontal nudity, but not dudes. In my older age, I now realize the necessary reasons. Racism. I just wait. just wait until that speech gets to, there's the rub. That's when Pants makes a big difference between a family-friendly Shakespeare in the park versus my performances. I love listening to Burb's dulcet tones. Has Chili ever won anything? He won fourth place in a wrestling tournament where there were 4 people entered into it. No. He should spin smooth jazz at midnight. Yes, Chili has won his bukkake hair. I'll never be able to unsee that shit now. Oh, that was a good one. Carl Hacker, that was a good one, sir. Hats off to you, sir. Advice not taken is the Sam. F you, Merb. We are terrible people. Yes, we are. If the court was smart to be safe, strike Skate's response and give her an order to show cause and let her legally do it where Chili can't say shit. Yes, something like that. Happy Black History Month, Merb. What are the only two things you need to do? Stay black and die. Someone said that Chili called the judge sugar tits. At one point, apparently he did on a stream of some sort. When we get the details to subscribe to Merb's OnlyFans? You got to pay me for that. Got him! True Yorker with hearts. Advice not taken is the same as medicine not taken. Hold on a second. There's 2 proverbs that I love. One is something along the lines of giving a fool advice, and the other one is along the lines of don't give a fool advice. And I forget them now because I'm trying to think about them. But if I wasn't trying to think about them, I would be able to remember them. But there's 2, and they're conflicting, and that was always fun. Pants, for $10, I'll give you access to my account. Docket 1140, year 2025. I don't think it would take to 2025 to get to that number. Hey, True Yorker. True Yorker, I haven't seen you in a minute. How are you? Everything okay, I hope. Good night, everyone. Much love to you all. Thorazine. Murby said at the end of this lawsuit, you must give Fluffer Boy a participation award. He has many in his, quote, closet, end quote. I see what you did there. I just got here. Start over. Okay, we're going to start over, folks. Going back to the beginning. I will pretend to disagree with everything to keep Merb making content. No. Kate's too busy to listen to you because she's too busy bailing criminals out of jail. Well, I mean, they're presumed innocent until proven guilty. So they are defendants that she's bailing defendants out of jail, to be precise. What Chili does is sort of a cargo cult law. It's an imitation of what the real thing looks like, pretty much. You got me on this one. Oh, caught in a bad romance. I don't know. I can't sing that one. I would love to sing it for you, WTT. I can't sing it for you. I'm always surprised when people say, I'm surprised you don't hate Merb or something similar. Has the concept of disagreeing without being disagreeable really fallen that far out of favor? Yes, it has. Everybody has their little tribal hats on. Medication, euthanasia, Canada, costs $2. Say hi to Chili. You know he's watching. Hi, Chili. Little Charlie boy is the only victim in this case. He deserves better. I still think that Charlie is very well taken care of. All pants, no shirt. No, I'm all shirt, no pants. 4.5 sounds like the perfect size for my mouth. I can't wait for Kate to go pro se. Then you will have 2 of the biggest idiots on earth going at each other. That will be gold. It will be gold. It will be gold. No offense to Kate, but She can't write a lawsuit to save her life. She can't write motions to save her life. It'll be hilarious. It'll be awesome. But you are funny. Pet peeve. Merb says verse fairly often instead of verses. Yes, I do. And I will continue to say it. AKA liar welcome. Pet peeve. Knowing someone is not wearing pants but not being able to see. Deal with it. 2 gay guys walk into a bar in LA. The first gay guy says, Merb, can I buy you a drink? And ask for some legal advice. Merb says, Chili, I'm not a fan, but I'll take the free drink. Lol. Absolutely. You don't turn down a free drink, bro. Like, come on, man. Comic Sans and Helvetica walk into a bar. The bartender refuses to serve them, however, saying, we don't serve your type in here. Boom, boom. Charlie has a better chance of avoiding a car accident when driving over Jose. Okay. Emojis. Merb is a misogynist Chili sympathizer. Probably. No, Merb is a misanthrope, not a misogynist. Probably. Free the nipple. Free all the nipples. All 3 of them. Doesn't everybody have 3? Just me? Weird. I think this was a good way to piss the judge for good. Yeah, it wasn't well done. Poorly executed. How do the fish feel about no pants? They want to eat the worm. Could Kate and others protected themselves if they were operating under an LLC? From defamation, probably not. Perhaps if they were under an LLC from copyright infringement. But there's also potential for piercing the veil. And I don't know if Massachusetts has LLCs. I know California does, but that's a creation of the state. So I don't know if Massachusetts has them or not. Charles Stout. Merb is a 2-bit low-rent hack attorney. Absolutely. Chili was pissed at me because I called him out. I asked him if he remembered his first blowjob. He said, yep. I said, how did it taste? Kind of salty. Pants is funny too. Oh no. Oh, got no. Bukake here. I know that's you won't be able to unsee it now, Pants. All right. That one got a full laugh out of me. You're welcome. I can fart on my own head. Okay. We demand to see the barky dog pay the dog tax. No. How's everyone tonight? I'm late as always. Okay. Lady Gaga lyrics. Come on, Mr. 34th Street. Do I look like the kind of guy who listens to Lady Gaga? I mean, do I? I slit the sheet, the sleet I shit, and on the slitted sheet I sit. Okay. Lady Gaga Merb, okay. Thumbs up. Chili needs to educate the judge. That'll work. I was talking about when Chili was a day late when he filed his dismissal of the case, then filed 100 motions to get his way. Yeah, but he filed a motion. He filed a motion to get the late filing. You think you could just say no to the dog tax? I sure did. Bukkake and good freaking night. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.